Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and today we are discussing a 2000 movie starring Mel Gibson in the lead. You have Heath Ledger in this, also Jason Isaacs and Tom Wilkinson, just to name a few actors there. And it's all about freedom, liberty. Because this weekend we're recording these casts on the American Independence weekend. So
Independence from you Brits.
oh, you'll never be free from us Brits, because what language do you speak?
um, American.
No, you don't. What's it called?
All right, it's called English. Fine, you're right.
You'll never get rid of us.
All right, all right.
So yeah, we are talking The Patriot. One hell of a movie. So without further to do, I'll go over to Susan with her opening thoughts on The Patriot. Over to you, Susan.
Well, it was um, it was about 240 years ago, and this ragtag group of people in Virginia and in uh, South Carolina were making it really difficult for the Brits. It's the the battles that were fought in the Revolutionary War sometimes went like the British fought any other major power: lines up and shoot, and line up and shoot, and send cavalry in and stuff, um, but uh, and maybe have a bayonet charge. But these these farm owners and weren't um, weren't fighting like regular soldiers. They started doing guerrilla warfare against the Brits and against the Redcoats, and they would attack their supply lines and their shipping, and the the generals and the generals' uh, belongings, uh, like Lord Charles Cornwallis, lost some stuff, and Jason Isaacs played a guy who was quite the nemesis of every single person, because he didn't take prisoners, and he didn't care if people had helped the Brits. They basically he just shot and killed all of the survivors of every war and burned down houses and stuff like that, which yeah happened. But it's a good movie. It's got a great cast. This is the second Adam Baldwin movie of this weekend, and so that's a fun little bit he played. And then there was Jolie Richardson, who played uh, Martin's uh, sister-in-law,
Yep.
who becomes his bride, and and the younger Martin marries a Howard named actress named Lisa Brenner. And the last movie we had uh, Brent Spiner, from Picard and from Star Trek: The Next Generation, this one we had Rene Auberjonis, Auberjonois, or whatever, and he was in Deep Space Nine, and he was also in a bunch of little sitcoms and stuff. He was a great actor. Unfortunately, we've lost Renee recently, and that's too bad. But yeah, and the thing that I know Tom Wilkinson most from is the Full Monty. But you'd know that if you were me. If you know me, you know that about me. So he was great. He's a fun actor to watch, and let's see. Chris Cooper played Colonel Harry Burwell, and the leader of the regular army, who this Martin guy ends up joining eventually. It's just there's a lot of back and forthing, and it's a good war movie. It's also got a bit of romance, and yeah, so it's 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 good. Back over to you.
Thank you, Susan. It's a long movie. It's 158 minutes long. But it doesn't seem that long. You get so engrossed in the story, it just flies by. Benjamin Martin, played by Mel Gibson, doesn't agree fighting the British, but he is sort of forced by Jason Isaacs' character when he kills his son. And that scene, when he shoots his son, I mean, the son must have been about 8. Then that's when when Benjamin Martin's world is just turned upside down, and he's out for revenge against the British, against Isaac's character, because Gibson's character has had history before. He was a war hero in the previous war, and he's had
French Indian War.
His people know him for being quite handy with weapons and stuff like that, and he is brutal. He is brutal when he's in the first one, where he takes his revenge on that small posse of British soldiers with his eldest son, who they're off to hang. That was just bullets flying everywhere. His little tomahawk thing flying around. It's gory.
Yep.
But war is gory.
Yes, it is.
For me, it's. I know. Most probably, some of the stuff most probably didn't happen. This is Hollywood. Most taking liberties here and there, like every movie does in a what's supposed to be an historical movie, based in fact. But war's not pretty, and the scenes, for me, the battle scenes, is so amazing. They're just, as Sue said, just lined up, and then the first row just falls with all the bullets, and then the second one is just falling. But the main story is he wants to kill. I can't remember the character's name. Jason Isaacs' character and then
Cavington.
That's it, yeah. But he also ends up killing his eldest son as well, but played by Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
So he's seen 2 sons killed by the same man. He's not going to take any prisoners now, is he?
Right.
But and the costumes are so just so brilliantly done. I mean, the Mosul, we got loads of reenactment people to do all the interview soldiers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to be in a part of one of those, war reenactment.
Yeah.
And of course, I'd be a redcoat. Because us Brits, we're the best.
Well, I tell you the truth, the Brigadier would agree with you about that.
Yeah, but
and he looked proper in his red coat. But let me tell you,
tell me.
There weren't a hell of a lot of regular soldiers in the colonies.
Oh yeah.
And it basically bludgeoned the British Army, the best army in the world at that time, back across the Atlantic. So, I mean, it was a a bunch of terrorists, freedom fighters, and doing it hardcore.
Well, yeah. What made me giggle was it's supposed to be about the American independence war, and you've got main actor played by an Australian. The second actor, Heath Ledger, was he Australian or New Zealand?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, that's what's going on here. But they get it right for the Brits. Yes, they have British actors playing the bad guys.
They are, and they are fully amazing.
But Tom Wilkinson's character, he totally disagreed with what he was doing, because he said the way you treat the civilians looks bad on him.
Yeah, and the fact that he said, listen, don't wipe them all out.
Yeah,
we're going to need them to be here for commerce for the king.
So he had his head screwed on, right? But then he just lost it because Gibson's character just kept pushing and pushing, and making Cornwallis look a fool with the the kidnapped soldiers, white soldiers that were scarecrows,
and the dogs that ended up
his dogs, yeah. Just won't stay with him.
Wouldn't stay. That's right.
It is. I don't think many people know about this movie, to be honest. It's. I think it made a lot of money, but when you say about a film like that, people say, "Oh, I've not heard of that. I'll have to look that one up." I think it went under the radar for several people. This one, but it's an enjoyable movie. As I said, I mean, the battle scenes, gruesome. I mean, the scene with the cannonball.
Oh, and he lost his head, or the guy's legs were blown off.
Yeah, just ripped his head off, but that's realistic. That they were putting realism into a field of war.
6 pound. What was it? They called them 6 pound guns or something.
Yeah. But I said Jason Isaac really knows how to play a villain. He really does.
Yeah, he was properly infuriating.
I mean, he's played. I mean, of course he's played in Harry Potter. He's been in. He also played. If I remember right,
he was Malfoy in
Potter. He played Captain Hook in a version of Peter Pan.
Yeah.
So he knows how to play the villains.
Yeah.
Pretty well. Anything you want to add to all this then, Susan?
Well, I love the fact that they had a French soldier in there, because
oh yeah,
light blue, because the French, we owe everything, uh, every part of our independence to Lafayette. You
And
know,
this is why the Brits don't like the French. There is still like a grudge between the two countries.
over the American Revolution.
I don't know.
No, it was over. It was over the war that came right after. Because the war that came right after, the Americans didn't go to help the French, and the French really got, you know, they the Brits stuck it to them, like they tried to invade through Ireland, they tried to invade through Wales, they tried to invade through Scotland, and you know, though these were great Catholic buddies of theirs, it was still like, you know, yeah, King James was just like, or King George was just like, hell no. Anyway, it was really good. It was, you know, the history of that time was I mean, everyone that had a revolution. I mean, the French had one too, and they cut off all the heads of all of their monarchy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, all the aristocrats.
Yeah, and you know, you guys have one of the only surviving uh, world power monarchies in existence, and yeah, so I really, you know, I'm sorry we started Brexit, but anyway, we're a bunch of ungrateful colonials. That's for what we are.
You are.
But you know, the other cool thing about this movie is that it showed a black man being set, first of all, set free through, you know, working around the Martin family, and then set free through serving in the army, because they were going to give people, black men who served in the army, um, for the period of a year, a house and some pay, and their freedom, and their freedom.
But you most probably wouldn't have got that anyway, though, because
No, not for 100 and or not for 80 more years. It was 1865 when the Emancipation or 1860 when the Emancipation Proclamation, and so that's 90 years later.
But also as well, the chances of surviving was pretty slim anyway. So
in the war, yeah, true.
So you know, these promises of this and that, you mostly would never have seen them anyway.
So it's so true. Okay, yeah, good point. Really good point.
It's ruthless on that battleground.
It was. Yeah, I'm still like imagining in my head the cannonball like rolling across the field and knocking people's legs off.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened. As I said, the one with the cannonball, it just knocked his head off his shoulders. Oh. But really.
Then there those quiet moments on the beach.
Oh yeah, the wedding.
You know, there's a bunch of adverts for Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, or Myrtle Beach, I don't know, South or North Carolina. Anyway, Myrtle Beach, and it looks like that, and it's just beautiful, and there's this glorious, and like there's nice temperature, and just, you know, subtropical. It's beautiful.
Well, I think this movie was filmed in Mexico, I think.
Nice.
if I remember rightly.
I didn't
But
know. Oh, you were saying the director?
yeah, that
Go
was.
for it.
What was his name again?
Roland.
Roland Emmerich. Emmerich, is
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I mean, we just reviewed another movie before doing this one, and we just randomly picked these movies, and surprise, surprise, he's the same director that we're talking about here, but he also did Independence Day, what we talked about, which because that's our Independence Day weekend we're doing at the moment. So I'll mostly put these videos up in October, but
Ha ha ha.
hey. But yeah, so the director seems to have done pretty well for himself with the two movies what we have talked about.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say, Susan?
Sounds like Heath Ledger was going to leave and go back down, you know, uh, down under, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But because he was only getting offered sort of teenage movies and cutesy leading man movies, and then he was offered this, and he was like, okay, I'll stay for to finish this movie. So that was great.
Oh
And
yeah, his role in this was pretty good.
yeah, and the the line, Cavington's line, "Kill me before the war is over, will you?" It appears that you are not the better man. You're right. My sons were better men, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean that fight scene between him and Gibson, you you you, you do think Gibson has lost.
yeah,
He's just there on his knees, just staring out, watching the flag go further down the field.
yeah,
You think, oh god, he's a goner, but no,
yeah.
the bad guy gets the comeuppance.
And then earlier in the movie, there's a line: "Eat the dogs, drink the rum, and use the paper for wadding." When he finds when he finds Mick, what's his name? When he finds Cornwallis's, that's the guy's name, Cornwallis's dogs, his diary, his important papers, and all of his worldly possessions, basically. Um, he they say, eat the dogs, drink the rum, and use the paper for wadding, and it's so funny because the the they asked, so are you sure, eat the dogs? And Martin says, yeah, dogs are good eating if you need to.
There's a little shock on the guy's face,
Yeah.
but they didn't eat him though.
We drink the wine, eat the dogs, and use the paper for musket wadding. Eat the dogs. Uh, a dog is a fine meal. Good heavens. And Reverend Oliver was, he, like, he brought everybody in the village into the church, and then uh, Tavington set the church on fire and burned everybody alive. And you
Yeah,
see the the jewelry the from the younger Martin's new wife. Oh my God, that was gruesome.
it was. Yeah, yeah. There was no mercy whatsoever,
Yep.
but so well done. He was he was icily cold in his performance as as the villain in this piece. Are we going on to a final say then? Are we anything more we want to say?
Yeah, I was just looking through some of the quotes because that there were some good ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so for another um, for our Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin movie fest, apparently surprise. Um, the 4th of July, I guess, owes a lot to those two because two of the most iconic 4th of July movies have been made about by those two, and so yeah, I really like it, and I really like I like Mel Gibson's performance. He is so anti-Semitic. I know not many people can really stomach him on a big long basis, but his acting, he can definitely play a lot of different roles, and he's not always playing himself like the movie before we reviewed. We were talking about Jeff Goldblum always playing himself.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Mel Gibson isn't always himself, which is good because he's not a great person. And but the characters that he plays are pretty great. So yeah, the he's a good worker anyway. So yeah, I will gladly give this 10 10 muskets out of 10. And yeah, um, I really enjoyed this movie. I know that
Was this the first time you've seen this movie then?
no, it wasn't. And I really wanted to see Johnny Tremaine because I hadn't seen that one, and The Crossing I haven't seen, but I can just scoot over and watch that. But this was truly amazing, and they had it on Netflix for the whole thing for the whole month of July. So I was able to watch it with subtitles and watch the longer version, and it was quite a piece of film. So yeah, I enjoyed that. What do you think, Lee? What was your final say and score?
Yeah, it's a very, very enjoyable movie. Not as in about war, but as showing you the brutality of war and what these people had to endure to get their freedom and independence. Um, so on that, it's, as I say, it's a long movie, but you just get so drawn into the story, you don't realize how long it is. Because you're just there, you live in the movie. You just well, I am. I was just glued to the screen. So it's getting 10 stars and stripes out of 10 for me. So that is our little review of the Patriot. Um, I would just like to say happy 4th of July to everybody there across the pond.
Thank you, and happy Independence Day for
Don't
the
worry,
whole planet.
don't worry. Those Brits will reclaim America.
Oh, okay.
We are.
It's a long process.
Yeah. We will send
We
our
really
Redcoats.
wanted you back, like the last four before this last election. We really wanted you back. We were perfectly willing to bow the knee to Elizabeth II. That would have been okay with us.
But no, yeah, happy 4th of July to all our American cousins across the pond. So that's the review done. If you guys out there would like to be on our casts, please get in touch.
We do allow Americans.
Begrudgingly. Um, no, we don't. We love them, don't we?
Scots and
We love. I love
Welsh.
Americans. I couldn't hit a whole one, but I do. You know.
I know.
But
Eat the dogs.
yeah, if you want
Drink the wine. Use the paper for musket wadding.
Yeah, so please get in touch with us if you want to be on our cast. Just leave us a message and we'll get you on. Just have to be 18, have a Zoom app, camera, and microphone, and we'll try and get you on. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over the place. So you know where to find us. And please, if you're watching this, on YouTube, leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of this movie, The Patriot. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Leave a comment, because it is nice to see comments on our videos. So, and I try to reply to everyone. So,
Right.
oh yeah, I do. It's very hard work, but I get round to it in the end. So, I think that is it now, isn't it? I've done all the bump, haven't I? Here.
Yep.
So until next time, be safe, be free, and be independent. Bye for now.